Hey, what's going on? I decided to do a quick live stream here. You might be surprised that I've got my shirt on. I didn't do a let's take our shirts off and talk about live stream. But I just want to do a quick one here because I am promoting right now a buddy of mine's book summaries. His name is Manny, and he has a site 2,000 books, and we're doing a book summary promotion on mental toughness, which is really cool. But I've gotten some questions. So I got some questions, some valid concerns about book summaries, and I thought this would be kind of interesting to talk about. I actually just recorded a video on this subject, but I thought I just want to do a live stream as well, just so I can address this for some of you that are concerned about this, since this is relevant information. So once again, I'll be talking about book summaries here. Hey, what's up, guys? I see you there, Marcin, and people are asking me to take it off, take off the shirt. Sal, nice to see you, man. All right, a lot of you guys joining here. So yeah. So anyway, I want to talk about this idea of book summaries versus reading books. In my Facebook group, someone had posted. They said, "Hey, you know, I saw that you did this promotion for the 2x mental toughness, which, by the way, you can click the card, and if you want to get the deal, it's in the description below. But but here's the thing." And they said, "But shouldn't we read books ourselves and get our own insights and our own information out of the books, rather than doing summaries? It feels kind of like cheating." I'm paraphrasing here, but we're not relying on our own understanding of the book. The summaries are not going to be as effective as reading the book. And this is a totally valid point, right? I mean, and as someone who reads about 2 to 3 books a day, or not a day, a week, right? In fact, I've got Jordan Peterson's book here. I need to read this. I'm excited about that one. But I definitely agree. I definitely agree that you get more value out of reading books than just taking someone's summary of a book. But here's the thing, okay? And this is the critical thing. This is why I like book summaries and I believe in book summaries, is because are you going to read 60 books on mental toughness? Are you going to read all? I mean, maybe in your lifetime you might, but honestly, like realistically, I want you to ask yourself, how many books do you read a month? Now, most people will say 0. Some people will say 1 or 2. So let's say that, let's give you the benefit of the doubt and say that you read 2 books a month. Okay, that's 24 books in a year. Okay, so here's the question you got to ask yourself: is the most valuable way for you to get the information from 60 books would be to read 60 books. So if you want to develop mental toughness, okay, are you going to read those 60 books, and it's going to take you how long, right? How many years? Like 3-4 years to do all that. Not very likely to happen in the first place, right? And then what other areas of your life, what other kind of books are you going to be missing out on? So you have to be very selective with the books that you read if you're not reading that many. Me, I'm very selective with the books I read, and I read 2 to 3 a week. Okay, so I'm still very selective. So the whole thing, the idea with the book summary, okay, is that you can get the information from 60 books, right? Watching some videos and getting a lot of the pertinent information, a lot of the concepts and ideas, the big ideas. Not only that, but here's the other thing, okay? Here's the thing to think about as well, is that what's your perspective? Let's say you read 1 book on mental toughness. If you don't have a wide perspective of a lot of books, then what you extract from that might not even be as valuable as someone who has a much wider perspective, who's read thousands of books. So that's the value, right, in book summaries. Again, like I said, if I were up to me, I would say read 60 books. That at least most people aren't going to do that, okay? And so so here's my strategy. This is what I would do. This is how I would approach this: is I would go and I would buy the summaries, okay? And wherever you get the summaries, it doesn't matter. I'm promoting ones from my buddy who is really good, who's built some book summaries, but the concept is still valid, right? The concept is that You utilize book summaries, right? Or even reviews on books, right? But book summaries are a good way to extract information, to get the information that you want about a particular subject. Think of it as a course, right? It's getting concepts and ideas from all these books. And then you take that and then you decide, based on this, which books do I want to go back and get more in-depth information and read, right? I do this all the time in my own learning. Is I skim subjects. I skim sources of information. I don't just like consume all of these things, and I go back and I say, okay, based on this, what am I actually going to go deep down and explore, right, in depth, right? So, let's take these mental toughness book summaries, right? For those of you that are like, I don't know, it feels like kind of like cheating, like I should read these books myself. I want you to realistically ask yourself, are you going to read these 60 books? Okay, now some of you might say yes. If you're going to read the 60 books, fine. Don't buy the book summaries, just read the 60 books. Good, we're good, okay? But honestly, if you're like, no, I might read like 2 or 3 of these books, then here's the thing. Then go ahead and get the summaries, go through the videos, get the information, and then go back and make a list of the books that you want to read in depth, okay? That's how I would do this. That's why this makes sense. And like I said, I'm not selling out here. I'm not trying to tell you that you shouldn't read books, right? But here's the other thing too. I want to look at the other comment. Someone mentioned this comment. They said basically that it's kind of like it's an insult to the author if you don't read the full book. It doesn't have the full impact on you. Not necessarily true, and it's not really an insult to the author, and I'll tell you why. Again, I don't mean to I understand that perspective. I get it, and I get trapped into that mode of thinking myself, where I'm like, oh, it's like that completionist thinking. I got to read this whole book. The point of books is not to have said that you've read a book. The point of books is to get information out of it that you can take action on and use in your life. And so if you read a book and you read it cover to cover and you don't get the information out of it and you don't take any action, it's worthless. You can just check that off your list of things that you've checked in your life that you've accomplished, but it doesn't mean anything. What really means something is getting information, okay, and actually using that information. So while I understand the sentiment, that's not necessarily true, right? It doesn't mean that you're getting less value because you're getting a summary, or you're getting someone else's synopsis of a book. Now, you may be able to get more and it depends on the book too, right? There's a lot of books that have a lot of fluff in them. Unfortunately, I've read quite a few books, and I read books all the time where I'm like, okay, this book, it's got some salient points, but it could have been condensed to like 1/5 of the pages, and so it's better if I could get that information extracted out so that I don't have to spend the time wasting my time reading the book and not getting super value out of it. So again, I would just say basically like the two things. One, use summaries in order to be able to get information on books that you might not read, right? This is an advantage that you can have. It's a good leverage, a good way to get that information without devoting all that much time, and then go back and read those books. And two, don't subscribe to this like a book just because a book is bound in this format. This means nothing. The information in here is what's valuable, not the fact that this is a book that you read cover to cover. Like reading all the pages doesn't gain you anything. Again, it doesn't mean that you just skim through books and you never you got to find the balance, right? When you're looking for information specifically to develop a skill set or something, that's the real value there. But it's a good question, right? And I'll actually address this as well, because some of you are asking, what about audiobooks? Again, a lot of you have this really well-meaning but ill-conceived notion that that audiobooks are somehow cheating. Audiobooks aren't cheating, okay? Audiobooks are just as fine as a regular book, as reading a regular book. You're getting the information. The point is to get the information, okay? And a lot of times, would I say that, I get more information from sitting down and reading a physical book or a Kindle book versus getting the audio version? I don't know. Let's say I get 10% more out of it. Well, if I can read 500% more books, that's better. That's better. I'm getting a lot more information, a lot more value in general. So don't, it's really easy to get into this trap and be like, oh, book summaries, it's not the real thing, or audiobooks or whatever it is. And remember, what is the goal? Why are you reading the book? What is the purpose? The purpose is to get information, and not just get information, but take action on that information. So anyway, I thought I would just mention that, and just so you guys can understand that. So again, if you want to get the promotion, it is for sale right now. 2x mental toughness. You can get in the card, and there's in the description below. But yeah, all right. Let me see. Any questions about that?